Hello, this is Linda Umbardo, and welcome to the podcast, Creating Tasks and To-Do Lists in Google Calendar. The Task Gadget in Google Calendar is a great way to add tasks and to create to-do lists to keep yourself on track and to stay organized. So let's walk through the steps of creating tasks in Google Calendar. Once you've logged into Google Calendar, go over to the My Calendar section on the left side of your screen and select Tasks. You'll see over on the right side of your screen, an area has opened up revealing tasks. Now, it starts with a default list, and we'll show you in a minute or two how to create several new lists, but let's start with our default list. In this section, I can actually start creating tasks, things that I have to do that are coming up. So let me type in a few of these. I have to reconcile my P card. To create a new task, once I've entered one, I can either click the plus sign or press enter. If I press enter, a new task will appear below the first one, and then I can type something in here, update my Twitter page. If I click the plus sign, a new entry appears at the top of the list, so it just depends on where you want the new entry to be, at the top or at the bottom. So let's see, maybe I will email OmniPlan users regarding upgrade. These are just a few things I have to do. Notice as I enter these, I'm not entering any dates or any notes. I'm just doing kind of like a brain dump where I'm loading into my task section all of the tasks that I know I have coming up. I haven't separated them really into categories yet. I'm just unloading them here. If I want to add dates or some notes, I can do that. If I select one of my tasks, if I want to email these folks next week, I'm going to go down here to my Actions area and click on that, and it will allow me to edit the details of that task. It will let me choose a due date, so if I want to email these folks on Monday, I can just select Monday, and then I can enter some notes. If I have any, I might want to talk about new features. And when I'm done, I'm going to click on Back to List, and it takes me back here. Notice that when I entered a date, over here in the All Day section of my calendar, it's showing that task. So this will appear in my calendar so I can see it as I'm logged in. As long as I have the task section selected, it will appear. Now if I turn that off, then I no longer see my tasks in the All Day section, and I no longer see them on the right side of my screen. If I turn that back on, there they are again. So if you want to view your tasks, just keep that checked on and you can see them. So this is a great way. I'm going to go through here and just add a few dates. Let me edit this and say I'm going to reconcile my P card. I better do it pretty soon. So I think I'll do that on Wednesday when I have some time. Go back to my list. I'll update the Twitter page as well. Let me go to Actions and Edit, and I'll do that on Tuesday. So these are my tasks for next week. Now if I want to sort those, I can. So this is a great way to make a to-do list. If I say, let me put this for me by the due date. I can see on Monday the 26th, I have to do this. Tuesday, I'm doing this. Wednesday, etc. If I had multiple tasks on a particular day, they would all list here. Now there's another great feature in tasks that allows you to make multiple lists. You'll notice that currently we're working on something called a default list, but I may want to rename this. These might just be my general office tasks that I need to do. I don't have to do with anything specific. They're just office tasks. So I'm going to rename this, and I'm just going to call this Office and say OK. And this is my office list. Now I want to make a new list and call this Training and say OK to that. So here is my training list. Now it's still in sort mode. If I click back to my order, you can see it goes back to the original state. And I can start adding some of these. So I may want to maybe create a training event for Google Docs. And I also need to create an outline for a colleague training session. And then I'm going to email one of our trainers regarding an upcoming training event. So these are all of my tasks. Again, I can edit these the same way. I can click into a task and I can put some dates in here. Picking a due date, I'll do this one on Thursday. Go back to my list and do the same for each one of these. I'm just going to come down and select dates. I'll do this one on Monday. I go back to the list, and same thing with this task for Joe. I'll click in here and go back to my list. So now I have other options or other things going on. Now here's something very important to remember. If you create additional lists, you can only view one list at a time in your calendar. Notice I'm seeing create the outline, email Joe, create the training thing, but I'm not seeing any of the tasks that I had in the office unless I select it. So there is a little bit of a downside to this. You can only visually see in your calendar one list at a time. So keep that in mind. Now as I'm going through this, let me go back to let me stay here in the office tasks. When I complete a task, I can either check the box over here on the task area on the right, or I can check the box right here. So if I update my Twitter account early, let's say I do it today, I could just click on that and you'll notice it's crossed out here, and it's also crossed out in the all day section of my calendar. I can hide that if I want to. You can clear any completed tasks so that they no longer appear on your screen. You're not deleting them, you're just not seeing them. You can always turn them back on by viewing the completed tasks if you want to. And you also have the ability to print out a task list, but again, you can only print out one list at a time. So select the office, print out that list, and then select whatever list you have next and print them out individually. So the task section in Google Calendar is a great way for you to stay organized, to stay on top of your tasks. If you have any questions regarding using the task tool in Google Calendar, please call Training and Support at extension 2238. Thank you.